Call the monthly Board of Education meeting to order. Please stand, pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Dr. Fulmer makes a motion. I have a second. Mr. Quinn makes a second. All in favor, show of hands. Citizens participation and statements. Dr. Henry.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had no requests for citizens' participation as per Board Policy BDDH.
Written communications.
We did have some written communication this month. I believe you've received copies, but Partridge Elementary sent some thank yous for Leader and me. And I believe Miss Lammy, if she's out there watching, sent a nice Mizzou Tiger eating a Jayhawk in a pot as part of the as part of her thank you. So I knew that Mr. O'Reilly would, in particular, enjoy that thank you note.
We always appreciate those. Citizens update.
Hire again for next year.
Military update.
Thank you very much for letting me attend. We'll go over some dates with you. Wednesday, the 19th of September at 08:30, Partnership and Education Quarterly Meeting is in Building 470, Room 1129. A lot of invitations have been sent out, and we would like as much participation as possible. The Youth Sports and Fitness Basketball registration runs from 1 October to 2 November. Practice dates will begin around the 19th of November, and games will begin around the 15th of December. Like everyone to get in the Halloween spirit every Tuesday of the month of October from 3 o'clock to probably 4 o'clock at the community library. All ages are welcome, but youth must be 13-year-old and older to attend without an adult. Saturday, the 6th of October from 4 o'clock at the Pershing Community Center, we'll have our annual Oktoberfest. Thursday, the 11th of October, the Waynesville High School Cross Country Invitational will be held at Piney Valley Golf Course. The course will close at approximately 1:30 so we can set it all up. We're anxious to support that. Saturday, the 13th of October, MWR will host a 5K run, a children's half-mile fun run, and a 10K duathlon at Davidson Fitness Center beginning at 0800. The last of the year in October, Commanding General's Golf Scramble is scheduled for the 19th of October at Piney Valley Golf Course. Two more items for you. Better Opportunities for Single Soldiers Haunted House is scheduled for 25, 26 in September, 6:30 until closing. The location are in buildings 566 and 567 off of 4th Street. And finally, Wednesday, 31 October, Trick or Treat on Fort Leonard Wood will begin at 6 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. District announcements, Dr. Henry.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, tonight we have representatives from Freedom Elementary here, one of the largest elementaries in the state of Missouri, by the way, so they're all in matching shirts back there. I know it looks like a small army, but we're very appreciative and want to thank each and every one of you for attending tonight, and we're going to be able to celebrate you in the CTA Spotlight in Education, and we sure appreciate everything you're doing, so thank you. Safety continues to be a priority, and this year we have added the Tiger Tip Line so that students and parents can report safety concerns such as bullying, drugs, fighting, personal crisis threats, vandalism, weapons online to the school district. The link to the tip line is at the top of our main webpage and each of the school buildings' websites. I want to thank everyone for participating in the Tiger Festival of Nations on Friday. Based on its success, our diversity committee may make this an annual event. We had over 42 tables at this event and over 20 different nations serving ethnic food, ethnic dress. It was a great ceremony, and we really appreciate everybody attending. Homecoming's Friday, September the 28th, and the theme is Tigers Win Across the Board. It will be a half day of school. Parade starts at 2:30. Community Pride Night begins at 4:30, and the crowning of the homecoming queen will be at 6:30. The football game kicks off at 7 p.m. against the Rolla Bulldogs. Homecoming T-shirts are on sale online, and the link is in our district Facebook page. The public is invited to attend the Waynesville Middle School open house from 1 to 3 p.m. on Sunday, October the 7th. A brief program will be held at 1 p.m., and during the remaining time, visitors may come and go to tour the facilities. We'll have different labs open, cafeteria, media center, so you have an opportunity to see the new building. And then Military Appreciation Night will be held October 12th during the varsity home football game. All active duty service members and military retirees with a military ID will be admitted to the game free of charge on October the 12th. That's what I have.
Thank you, Dr. Henry. And I do recommend everybody come out and look at the new middle school. It is something. Consent agenda item, bid recommendations, Dr. Berger.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Just the one bid. To entertain any questions the board might have.
Financials.
On September 10th, 2018, with the Bank of Crocker in the Missouri, in the MOSIP account, $39,979,650.78, 10.5 in CDs. General account, $2,208,952.88. Payroll account, $5,156.57. Total funds for September 10th, $52,693,760.23.
Thank you. I get a motion to approve the consent agenda items A through F.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Dr. Fulmer seconds. All in favor, show of hands. 7, student recognitions. Dr. Atkins.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America is a national career and technical student organization that provides personal growth, leadership development, and career preparation opportunities for students in family and consumer sciences education. At the FCC LA STAR event in Atlanta over the summer, 2 Waynesville High School students earned gold medals in the Chapter Service Portfolio category. Tonight, we would like to recognize them. Zakia Woods, and Kiara Smith.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
CTA Spotlight on Education, Mr. Preston. Is this going to be a video?
I believe there is a video, yes, okay. So I'm here to represent our Community Teachers Association. My name is Dennis Preston, teach 7th grade science at the middle school. And we are here tonight to recognize 2 individuals from Freedom Elementary who have been recognized for their integrity, their hard work, their dedication to the students at Freedom.
Hello, my name is Abigail, and I'm a 5th grade student at Freedom Elementary. Tonight I have the pleasure of introducing 2 amazing staff members from Freedom Elementary. Miss Curtis and Miss Starr, will you please come forward? Mr. Brown, please play the video.
Jamie had really big shoes to fill after
she has taken the challenge. She's energetic and very helpful.
Go ahead.
Hi, I just wanted to say what a pleasure it's been to know Jamie Starr. She's always a great person to work with and willing to do whatever it takes to make our job so much better.
Ms. Starr is awesome. She's always super welcoming to the staff and students and makes everyone's day go a lot smoother with helping us out in the office. And I've had her as a parent of one of my students, and she was awesome to work with on both fronts. So she's just awesome. Awesome. A great smiley face to see.
Star's always has a great attitude. She's good with the children, and she always has the information that we need. If she doesn't have it, she gets it right away. She's very helpful.
Ms. Starr has done a wonderful job taking over the huge responsibilities that Sue Ann had without any hiccups. She also does an extremely important job down at Club Tiger, so she has done a great job this year. Thank you.
Ms. Starr is a wonderful secretary. I have known her for a long time when she was doing the Club Tiger financial piece of our school, and then as an attendance secretary, and now the principal secretary. Ms. Starr always has a smile on her face. She's always kind, and she's always doing what's best for kids.
Not only does my mom take care of her peers and friends and family at Freedom Elementary, she also takes care of us at home. Miss Curtis, you're very nice because whenever I walk in the hallway short, straight, and silent with a bubble, then you give me 2 tiger books. I love Miss Curtis because she's nice and helps us with stuff, and I think she's nice because she helps us find stuff like what we need, and she helps us. I love Miss Curtis because she is nice. I love Miss Curtis because she helps you if you are feeling sick. I love Miss Curtis because she's so awesome. Miss Curtis because she is a great counselor. She helps other people out. She even asks us how our day has been. And also, she helps other people out when we need help, and when we're feeling bad, we can just go up there and tell her all about it.
Katie has a natural ability to relate to people, and she exudes that with both professional staff and her students, and kids just gravitate towards her, and staff do as well. That's a special quality. She's very kind-hearted, and everyone sees that. And on top of that, she's a diehard Cardinal fan, and that makes her extra special.
So, thank you to these 2 individuals on behalf of their staff and their students. They are very energetic and helpful and happy and smiling, and so I just want to say thank you on behalf of the CTA. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move to discussion items. Facilities grounds planning update, Dr. Berger.
Thank you, Mr. President, and we'll blow through a few slides here real quick. Start by saying the planning, our master plan, our district master plan, each time we present to the board, whether it be a discussion or action item, gets put on the website at the operations department, so you'll find this updated document. The presentation and the actual master plan. Master plan is about 50 pages long. Encompasses a lot of information, much of which Don Hussman with DHA has helped us put together and compile capacity studies, site studies for different pieces of property on district, and really just a just what it says it is. It's a facilities master's plan. So we'll get blow through the schools, just a quick look at each campus, and I kind of framed it over the last renovation. So some bigger items. I've done different things over the years, but we'll kind of key in on that for our newer board members maybe. We'll pause here in a minute when we look at kind of this matrix that we kind of try to schedule everything out. I want to say, obviously the board ultimately has the decision when this isn't even an action item tonight. It's for discussion, and that evolves. The plan itself evolves throughout the year. If we get something that the board wants in terms of new information, a new geo study or something on site, it's kind of warehoused in that big document. But we'll get to that matrix in a minute and kind of map out where we believe we're going at this point. So looking here at a couple pictures of the high school, and this is a relatively new facility for us, but anybody that I ever talk to, any colleagues around that are familiar with Waynesville, they always say the new high school, and the new high school really isn't new anymore. But we did have security camera upgrades in 18 and coming into this year, and those have been much appreciated. Oops, jumped over the Career Center. Career Center is a beautiful building as well. You see up there renovation in May 2009. All this, in fact, this and more is found in the facility study that you can look in there. Really like this picture. This was done by Aaron Harrison with his drone, and went down there, and that was in not the early stages, but maybe the midpoint maybe of the construction. But it's an awesome picture. Can't make it out very well there, but it's really neat. And down here you'll notice phase 1 we're in. We were in August, but Waynesville Middle School phase 2, we just had a budget report in the discussion in the study session, and still that the construction phase for Waynesville phase 2, the front of the building, is TBA, to be announced. So we'll continue to get information on that in the upcoming months. Waynesville 6th Grade Center, beautiful building. Of course, the middle school matches that up now. 2012 is when that was built. That was a year prior to my arrival to the district. East Elementary is a perfect example, and I was talking to Mr. Keeling recently of a design that really helped out an old building. So this was really well done, but this building will serve us for many years to come, and just a beautiful facade on the front of the building there. And of course, the acquisition of the FEMA shelter on the back end has been really highly utilized by our district, but also our community. K-5 realignment in 17. Freedom Elementary, great building, K-5 realignment in 17. The PIC Education and Volunteer Facility, vacated that and renamed to PIC in 2015. That was the PIC Wood switch. And then, of course, we do our alternative ed and our volunteer facility out there. And it's that part of that building is mothballed. We got the front of that building. We did a really light renovation there, and it's been serving its purpose thus far. This is one of the buildings that I'll talk about maybe here in just a little bit that was under study from Post, and where we would hope that that building may rank high enough to get some support for a future renovation sooner than later. It's in need. Wood Elementary, occupied and renamed. That was the PIC Wood switch again. And then up here, this building's in great condition, but we're 2002 since a full renovation of that facility. Partridge Elementary, and again up here, renovation was over 2 years, so renovation in 2004. Really, Partridge, Wood, Thayer, those are all pretty equal in terms of their condition. They're just great, beautiful little elementaries. Williams Early Childhood Center, another kind of gemstone in our crown, but just a fabulous facility, early childhood center. And of course, the other end of that is Williams. We do occupy partially the old part of the building, but really, you know, if we needed it, our occupancy study, I'm looking for Dawn for help, but I think called out, was it 300 for that? It's in the manual. I'd have to look. So I shouldn't have stumped myself or he, but phase 1 renovation and phase 2 renovation in 2009. So really that elementary, not talking about the early childhood center, but the elementary side has never been occupied fully since renovation. So those kitchens have never been fired up. So someday it may serve our purposes. Thayer Elementary, most recently some parking upgrades, but the total renovation was our most recent one of the 3 I mentioned earlier total renovation in fiscal year '07. Administration building, just a great building, serves our purposes. We've done some reorganization up there recently, but it's still accommodating all of our needs. We did have security upgrades in 2016. Maintenance and food service, again, serves our purposes. This lean-to structure here was put into place, I think, in '17, along with we put a floor in the storage area over here. So that's was a significant upgrade for our maintenance staff and much appreciated, and rocking along really, really good with that facility. Transportation department, you might remember, we did a phase 1 renovation in 2015. We'll see phase 2 mapped out there. This picture does not depict the almost $1.8 million investment really to the site and to the infrastructure, and will make it a much easier transition and save money when we do commit to the phase 2. Phase 2 will be really the facility itself, an expansion of the facility. Sports complex, nothing new really recently, but in the what's termed in district the high school completion project, we had some upgrades to the sports complex, and the concession stand was one of those. We had some improvements to the baseball field, warning track. Slaughter Field and Tiger Stadium, just beautiful facilities. Great picture of Slaughter there we added this year. I think that was one that Ms. Ward grabbed for me. And I know this board, this seated board, is mindful of this, but remember in our 13 flood, you know, that field's brand new. So the renovation being in '07 where the artificial turf's installed, but really about 14, maybe even rolling into 15, definitely rolling into 15, we had a track rebuild there. So it's just a magnificent facility, both Slaughter and Tiger Stadium. This is new to the facility plan. This is part of Proposition 1. We wanted to schedule out our video upgrade schedule, so you can see that mapped out there. Waynesville Middle School, of course, got new with the phase 1 of their construction. But doesn't mean it's etched in stone. We might have to be reactive if you know something were to come up. We got some of those units aging, and in the realm of safety, kind of into this next slide. Really, if you sum this, you would see intercom systems and secure vestibules. And you might remember in retreat, we talked about secure vestibules. We already have secure vestibules. This would be a secondary secure vestibule where we would have folks inside as opposed to outside. So they would come to the initial vestibule, be brought in through the intercom system, but then they are in a secondary secure area. So not necessarily a secondary secure vestibule, but a secondary secure area for sure. And you'll see that themed out there, the intercom. We got about $500,000 budgeted this year for intercom updates, and we're going to get a spec written for that and out hopefully in the next, I'd say, like to say 30, 45 days. And the other thing you'll see then there that's, you know, comes up a lot is the bulletproof resistant glass in some real strategic areas that perhaps Mr. Whalen, the SROs, will be mapping out a plan for us. So last thing I'd say on this list is I committed to the board in retreat that we would try to pull together with the help of Ms. Bells, Mr. Whalen, and the principals, but perhaps a one-time spending plan that would just be for security. And so we're still working on that. We said in the fall, maybe late fall, early winter, but we'll still hope to bring that to you. And actually what we looked at in the study session in terms of our finances right now with our ASBR helped kind of propel the commitment to doing that. So we're in good shape to bring something to the board very soon that will, an investment in safety. One-time spending. This is the matrix I alluded to earlier, and again, not etched in stone, but gives you an idea. Problem here with, start with Waynesville High School, is we've got a little issue that we got to remediate behind the field. Still working on some planning on that. I owe the board an update on that, come out this week. But we can't do the handicap parking until that's done. I really believe it's going to be FY19. I put it in both places, but really think we'll be able to do that. We have to go over the area where we want handicap parking back behind the tennis courts to remediate our area behind the football field. So Again, I'm more optimistic we'll get 19, but if not, it'll slide into 20. The money is budgeted there, so as soon as we get our remediation done, get a good solid plan to get that done, we'll start quickly on the handicap parking. Career Center, the diesel program, of course, this year, and perhaps falling into 20 with a little bit of wrap, but I think we'll have that pretty much knocked out too. Waynesville Middle School Phase 2 start does not mean we have, the board has had action on a contract with the general contractor. Simply means we are in the building the bid documents for that. So DHA will be bringing us information. We'll continue that through 19. Perhaps in the spring we'll be looking at, if everything proceeds, we'll be looking at putting something in front of the board on a decision for Phase 2. Had some great input at a recent retreat from the board, and I think Don's starting to put that in the planning now too, and probably drawing to a close on that. Sixth grade center is a relatively new building, got nothing there. Playground, so Freedom and East both have some money to upgrade playgrounds for this year. This renewal of the FEMA NOI, Notice of Interest. We've missed out on the FEMA funding a couple times. We are still in the pool. We have pretty solid plans for a FEMA structure at Freedom, but we've got to qualify for the 75-25 money. So 75% would come from FEMA, and the district would be obligated to 25%. Williams, down to Williams on the parking lot expansion. Then you move into the 2020. Won't read all those out to you. This asphalt parking is the baseball field there that kind of falls on east there too. And then maybe even that little bit of, that's on the other side of the soccer field that's closer to the highway out there. We'll pick up the post schools for playground improvements. This DOD facility assessment is what I alluded to earlier, in that DOD has assessed all of our facilities. We don't know where they'll score out. We did not have any score out, and in this case, you want them to score poorly, so they're a higher priority for DOD. The only one that was sort of close was PIC last time. The money is bottlenecked. They reassessed, and the results of that assessment are still pending. So then, you get out here to 2021, 23, doesn't mean any of these things can't move up. If we were somehow, these FEMA structures on post, there seems to be some problems with getting that done. But if for some reason something changed and we could get those moved up, we'd be more than glad to put up the 25% to get that, move those up on the schedule. Transportation facility, the site improvements certainly help, but there is absolutely a clear need for the building now too. So that may, shift around. So it's kind of overall, this one back here I didn't mention, theater overhaul. There's some things on there, I don't have a number for that, but some things that, probably rank to a level that they could go on the schedule, but if we're talking probably about the limit there, $150,000 to $200,000, they won't make it. Typically the asphalt's kind of interesting for board members, so I try to put that on there. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Berger. Williams Early Childhood Program Update, Mrs. Mitchell.
Good evening. I want to start off by thanking you guys for our new parking lot expansion. We get a lot of positive comments from parents. Those 32 new spaces have really impacted how our parents can drop off and pick up more efficiently. So we really want to thank you for that. The other thing I wanted to mention before I get started is this time last year, I was very proud to announce that our staff members had been nominated for exemplary PLC status, and we were fortunate enough to be awarded exemplary PLC status by the state of Missouri, and so we're very proud of those accomplishments. So I'm going to talk about two programs tonight. I'm going to talk about Williams, which encompasses both the early childhood special education and the preschool program, which we call PACE, and our Parents as Teacher program. And I have my Parents as Teachers educators here this evening. So just an overview, we at Williams, we service children who are 3 to 5 years of age, and so our oldest child in our building is 5. We have the parent child education is regular preschool, and early childhood special education serves 3 to 5-year-old students who have a disability. We do all of our services in-house. That means occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech and language services. We also do teletherapy for itinerant speech, where we bring the student in to work with the teletherapist, and they work with their parents so that the parents learn skills and techniques to extend that learning throughout the week. Each child, to be admitted into our program, does have to go through a screening process, and then we rank those scores from the lowest score to the highest score. Lowest scores getting priority into our program because that shows those students have the greatest need. The amount of time that a child is on a waiting list does not matter. It all goes on score. We do a child find where we do monthly screenings. Also, if a parent calls and they have a concern, we do weekly screenings for children too. So we're really out there trying to find these kids. Our PACE program has 144 students. Each teacher has 15 students in the morning and 15 students in the afternoon. The exception of those numbers would be our 3-year-old class, who has 12 kids in the morning and 12 kids in the afternoon. And ECSE has approximately 180 to 200 students by the end of every year. So our curriculum we use is the Emergent Language and Literacy curriculum. It does focus on language and language development, and it focuses on early literacy skills. Each unit is a 2-week unit, and it focuses on a particular subject. Right now we're in the middle of shapes in grocery stores. Lots of fun. If you come out, you might be able to eat a circle pancake or a circle pizza that's cut into triangles. So they are activities they learn through exploration and play that really focuses on that critical thinking. There's circle time, phonological awareness groups. We work on socialization through dramatic play, construction center. So we have lots of different centers, so I invite you to come out and play any day. We have a lot of fun. To go over some of our data, I've got the data from 2017 and 2018. Obviously, when you go over data with Dr. Adkins, you see all of our standards, but this is just a little snippet. As you can see, our performance really improved from 2017 to 2018 in ELA. As you see, recognizing name is at nearly 100% for all of our students. And, you know, I went over our numbers just a little while ago, and this encompasses all regular ed and special ed kids together. And remember that all of our students who are in our program were identified as having a need. And so this is hard work on the part of our staff. Also looking at math, you can see that from 2017 to 2018, we increased in most of our standards. 1-to-1 counting, again, a standard that is almost 100% proficient. So now I want to brag about our Parents as Teachers program. It's a unique program. It was, Parents as Teachers was started by the state of Missouri. The state of Missouri did phase out Parents as Teachers a few years ago, but our district was committed to making sure that that program stayed in place. And we have 2 fantastic educators that I would like to share a little bit about what they do. So Beth Armstrong and Sheila Lehman, they are 12-month contract people, so not like just a teacher, but they work 12 months with these families. They do home visits, play groups, and then they do community activities such as car seat checks. They work with the fire department. They service children prenatal, so they start with those mamas before those babies are actually born to 3 years old, and then they may continue to service 3 to 5-year-olds if that child or that family has a need. Right now, they're servicing about 74 families, and that translates into 91 children. And I thought this was a neat statistic. In over 5 years, 325 families have been serviced by these 2 ladies. So visits are made with the families monthly, and additional visits may be scheduled based on a family or child need. They start off by doing a developmental assessment. When they do a developmental assessment, that gives them an idea for a plan for the family. Then they use the foundational curriculum, and this really addresses parent and child interactions, teaching the parents how to interact and teach their children in age-appropriate activities. Talks about family well-being, dealing with trauma. That's a big focus of our district, is that trauma-informed care. And then there's a development-centered parenting. What is appropriate for timeout? What should your child be eating? And they do all of that in the home with the parent. Every Wednesday, September through May, they have play groups, and they have a little room set up for maybe some dramatic play and some socialization. Also, once a month, they'll go over to the Old Williams gym, and they'll have gross motor play. It's 9:30 to 11 every Wednesday. However, parents do need to be signed up for Parents as Teachers to participate in this play group. And then once a month, at the end of the play group, a family connection activity or meeting is done, just to give the parents a little bit more information on how they can help their children. Twice a year, we do advisory board meetings. Our first advisory board meeting is this Friday, and we meet 2 times per year, once in September, once in April. We give an overview of the program, we set goals and review goals. Now, in this advisory board meeting, we are paired and partnered with community resources, Head Start, the Army Community Services, Free Women's Clinic, Genesis House, First Steps, and members of the Pulaski County Community Network. They all come together. They share resources to our parents as teachers. Our parents as teachers people share resources, and then we're able to share with those organizations what Williams does and how Williams can service those families as well. So, Parents as Teachers, very proud to be able to support the families of the Waynesville, St. Robert, Fort Leonard Wood communities, as are we at Williams. So if any family would have a need for Parents as Teachers or interested in Parents as Teachers, they can always call Beth Armstrong or Sheila Lehman at this number, or they can call Williams and we can definitely get them in touch with them. Is there any questions?
Thank you very much. Proposed job descriptions, first reading, Mrs. Bells.
Thank you, Mr. President. The following attached proposed job descriptions are presented for your review as a first reading. 4.12.3, School Building Special Services Secretary. 4.22.4, Boiler Tech Groundskeeper. 5.32, Full-Time Cook, and 5.33, Part-Time Cook.
Comments or questions on that? Okay, Waynesville Middle School construction update, Dr. Berger.
Thank you, Mr. President. And Dawn, give us the latest and greatest.
Well, fortunately, things are winding up over there, and these images were taken. They're about 5 or 6 days old, and let's go to the first one. We're seeing some a fair amount of the work with regard to the metal fascia panels. If you remember, they lagged a little behind, and they're in the process of being installed. And once they're installed, then sealant is applied between the panels. A lot of these panels in these images still have not had the protective paper removed, or it's a wrap actually, from the panel. So once that comes off, you'll notice it in, I believe, whoop, a little faster. I've lost my place. Oh, well, you've almost seen them all now. Well, and let's just stop it at that one. I even lost track of what I was going to tell you about the panels and such. But at any rate, they're moving along quite well. Sun shading is in place, and the site is really beginning to clean up. This is the rear of the sites, and it has been roughly graded. I believe there's still a stockpile of earth there that's left over.
Got it knocked out today.
Oh, you knocked out today? Okay, all right. Well, that's an update for us. Students entering in. That entry was lagging a little behind when this photo was taken. The interior view of the cafeteria. I'm assuming that everything is just working wonderful there. There are a lot of seats there, but really the greatest thing I think about this image is if you can remember. Well, it's not that long ago, but you can remember the current cafeteria. I think it had a couple of very small windows, very dark inside. Circulation was poor, and I think that this one really, really is a substantial improvement to that facility. One of the science rooms. I'm assuming they're getting a little messier now as they're moving forward. And this is the circulation desk in the library. There's been a little incident with some of the carpet, some of the orange carpet in there. Not this that you see in the foreground, but some of the carpet was actually delivered and was inappropriately cut from the factory. So we had a heck of a time getting the seams tight and everything, and that's going to be replaced. And I believe you're also in the process of receiving new shelves. Is that right, Chris? Okay, yeah. And I think that might be the last image. It is. Is there anything else I can add or answer any questions? Okay, thank you.
MSBA policy procedure updates. First reading, Dr. Henry.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had a slew of policies and procedures we went through the other night, and appreciate the board members that serve on tabs and were with us. Had some great discussion, but we'll have, I think there's a couple more that will be coming back next month after we get some answers back, and I appreciate Dr. Washington checking in. We've got some of the procedures that we talked about through the Special Services Department addressed and in here. So we would have these for your first read, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Typing Club online program proposal, Dr. Atkins.
Thank you, Mr. President. It is that time of year where we need to renew our typing program that we use with our students, and currently we use Type to Learn. We're looking to transition to Typing Club. It has some better features, and then also expanding that to 6th grade, as currently they don't use it. So we'll be bringing this back for approval next month.
Okay, thank you. Action item, proposed revision to the 2018-19 staffing plan. Mrs. Bells.
Thank you, Mr. President. Administration is recommending the addition of one 5th grade teacher at Freedom Elementary to the 2018-19 staffing plan, please.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Keelan makes a motion. Do I have a second? A second. All in favor, show of hands. District surplus, Dr. Berger.
Yes, basically a lot of stuff from Waynesville Middle School, and we may have some surplus lists coming for you a little later this fall too to make space. But I would not want you to overlook that the Career Center House is also on that list at the very bottom. And so we had no activity in terms of any bids on it when we did it as is. And so the Career Center will be finishing it up and putting it. We'll go back through a marketing plan with it and try to get it sold. But it is, we'll declare it for surplus, which is just a formality to put it on the market.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Dr. Farmer makes a motion. Do I have a second? Mr. Deering makes a second. All in favor, show of hands. And SOP, Dr. Henry.
Thank you, Mr. President. As discussed in study session, the Sustainable Ozarks Partnership for the last year and now going into the second year has a new funding structure with memberships involved. We certainly support the work of the Sustainable Ozarks Partnership and the Leonard Wood Institute, the things that they do for our region and a strong and prosperous Fort Leonard Wood. And I'm recommending that we join again for $5,000 to Tier 2 sponsorship to the SOP.
Do I have a motion on that? A motion, do I have a second? All in favor, show of hands. Okay. Closed session, closed record, closed vote is allowed by RSMO.610.021, Section 3, hiring, firing, disciplining, or promotion of employees, and Section 13, individual personnel records, performance ratings. Do I have a motion to enter into closed session?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Keenan makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Quinn makes a second. Roll call vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. We are in closed session.